Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 15 of the F1 2006 Championship Edition career mode. Yes, we return here for the Italian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live last week from Istanbul, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. 4 rounds to go of the season, and we have still mathematically got a shot at the Drivers' World title at the moment. We are 32 points back behind Giancarlo Fisichella. It is a long shot, but we are still, fighting for survival in the championship. Of course, this weekend, the home of Ferrari, but also the home of Giancarlo, who has an 8-point lead at the top of the table. So the Italians have got a lot to be rooting for. Of course, if you're new around here, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. We're trying to hit 130,000 subscribers at the moment, but we are not going to give up until the bitter end. Even if we can't win the world title, we want to try and prove that we are ready for a fight in the future. So yeah, let's do this thing. Well, as I've mentioned quite a few times then on this series before, whatever happens, this is going to be the final season of F1 Championship Edition here on the main channel. It's kind of, I feel like it's ran its course on the channel, of course, especially because you can't change the difficulty mid-series. You're locked in on whatever difficulty you pick at the start of the game. Admittedly, I'm not great at F1 CE, but was certainly better than I once was. So the plan, of course, is obviously F1 24 is out very, very soon. So obviously all of the focus and interest will be on that, I'm sure, for a few months. But Map 2 and 2 gameplay will become the new home of F1 Championship Edition because, well, hello. We're going to try and actually win the World Championship on the hard difficulty. So that's going to be a very, very fun playthrough as well. It probably won't start until towards the end of the year, but it is certainly going to be something I do want to come back to. This game, I have a very love-hate relationship with it, but I'm not going to give up until I taste glory. As that Midlands is already making my life difficult, and we're only in free practice 1.
Welcome to Monza for this afternoon's qualifying session. An hour of high-speed exhilaration and excitement starts here. Session 1 is about to get underway, so let's see who makes the grade and who doesn't. Well,
as we move then into qualifying, this track probably isn't actually going to be one of the easiest ones for us because obviously, I mean, it's Monza, it's the Temple of Speed. It is all about the high speed. Often that actually really obviously plays into Ferrari and Renault's hand here, so often we've actually ended up being kind of where you'd expect the car to be in terms of pace, but this weekend we need to win. Basically, in the last 4 races this season, Giancarlo Fisichella needs to finish with 8 points or less. There is a lot of optimism. Heading through the Parabolica, though, to finish off my first run here in Q1.
He's made quite an impact with that lap.
Scott Speed, fastest? Not anymore. Nick Heidfeld has immediately gone even quicker. Of course, such a long run to the start-finish line, but a 25.5. That should be us safely into Q2. Well, I don't really know why I keep showing the kind of the Q1 and Q2 results, but I will if there's a Jacques Villeneuve failure. And 18th place on the grid certainly fits that bill. Well, starting our first run then in Q2, obviously we were P4 at the end of Q1 with a couple of little errors. Giancarlo Fisichella, though, he was on the cusp in P9, so really not a Q1 he would want to remember. Is that a lack of pace for Giancarlo, or is that just not feeling like he needs to push to 100% too early? Running very, very wide out of the Ascari chicane, but of course that was the line back in the day, so we're not going to complain about that too much. Can brake so late in towards this final corner. Making our way through then. David Coulthard sets the pace on a 26.5. Heidfeld goes even quicker, but hopefully we're going to be down in towards close to the 24s if possible. And a 25.5, should be us again safely through, but not as quick as I would like. Well, that's a shame then. We can't see Giancarlo Fisichella even on that timing tower at the end of Q2. No idea what Christian Klean's got to do with it. But JB out in P11 there. Scott Speed, maybe the V10 still in the back of that Toro Rosso, helping them around this venue. Well, as always then, we haven't opted to go particularly aggressive on the fuel ready for the race. I like to go just over half the distance on the tank, simply because, well, Michael Schumacher knows when it's going to rain, apparently. People have often compared him to a god, But I actually get worried in this game that that's closer to the truth than it ever should be. Feel like I haven't maximised the car in Q1 or Q2 up to this point, so we need to try and get a big lap in Q3 as the AI get more competitive. And obviously this extended Q3 session, I never quite knew why the Q3 is 20 minutes long. I guess it's because obviously everyone has to burn fuel. But it always seems a little bit weird in my mind, because surely that's part of the fun, that it is frantic still right at the end of qualifying. But yeah, Giancarlo Fisichella no higher than P9 in Q1 or Q2. I'm sure we're about to see him bang out a pole lap. So far, this lap has felt pretty clean and tidy. I believe it's Montoya in front of me, who's actually been one of the pace setters so far this weekend. So if we can stay close to him, I'll be pretty happy. Down just 2 gears into Ascari this time round as you try and attack the curbing on the exit. Luckily, there isn't a horrible little sausage curb on the inside there. So you can actually take a nice chunk of curb on the way through. But one more corner to go then. What is the time going to be there? The back end always likes to step out through that final corner. And you can see we do run a little bit wide there. Going to compromise my run up towards start-finish line, but hopefully still quicker than JPM. Oh no, you actually get slowed down on the inside there. And we do go faster, but only by half a tenth. And yep, I should act surprised, but I'm really not. Giancarlo Fisichella on race fuel immediately goes quicker than he's managed all weekend. I still always find it bizarre how you meant to try and maximise straight line speed around here for no rhyme or reason. Occasionally, oh, you'll just carry a load of extra speed just through the final corner. We have absolutely messed that up, and I think it's going to be P5 on the grid.
Fernando Alonso, Felipe Massa, Michael Schumacher, Juan Pablo Montoya, Rubens Barrichello, Kimi Raikkonen, Jarno Trulli, Nick Heidfeld are all out on hot laps as I speak. Results should be coming in thick and fast throughout the session.
Well, we know there's a few more tenths on the lap though, as Fisichella goes even quicker. We cannot afford to start this race down in P6. We need to find more time. Well, the tyres definitely starting to provide us with less and less grip, but Fernando Alonso now goes top of the board, so clearly this is a Renault happy hunting ground here, as that was not what I was expecting towards the end of Q3. So this is our last lap then here, as the rain's suddenly starting to fall. Make sure I don't go over the white line on the run towards the finish line here, but still need the shortest run we possibly can. It's a 26.5, we don't improve, and it is P8 on the grid at very best for the Italian GP. Well, I said this is a track that's really, really good for the AI, especially in qualifying, and only P8 then on the grid. I mean, Jarno Trulli even 8 tenths away from me, which is staggeringly pretty good for the way this season has gone. But yeah, no idea whether rain is still forecast for Sunday's GP, but we have got a mountain to climb. Quickly though, before we get into this video, I want to thank all of the names you see on your screen. Without their continued support of the channel, none of the work we do here would be possible. And if you want to get your name featured on this list, you can click the join button or click the Patreon link down in my description below and support the channel from just £1 a month. You will also get access to weekly updates about everything going on behind the scenes, and also occasionally some early previews on videos. So yeah, a massive thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters, and let's get back to the video.
We're here at Monza. Lining up on pole is Fernando Alonso. Next on the front row is Giancarlo Fisichella. Felipe Massa is in third. Michael Schumacher is next. Montoya takes fifth. Sixth is Rubens Barrichello. Seventh spot on the grid for Kimi Raikkonen. You're in 8th place.
Well, I know we need a win for our championship hopes, but how on earth does he expect me to do that with 8th place on the grid here? This game still continues to baffle me. Unfortunately, we had no Martin Brundle intro either, for whatever reason. So we don't know whether there's rain predicted on the horizon or what's going on. I must admit, I'm also very, very scared to be lining up behind the McLarens. If you guys remember last season here, fun fact, I almost got decapitated when the McLarens collided and a wheel bounced directly above my head. Pretty much all the time so far this season, we've started right at the front of the grid. I don't really know if we've ever started mid-pack, to be completely honest, this season. But I guess if we're, trying to look at the positives, it means that we won't have to wait as long with our tyres cooling down. Right, come on, we need a big result here, but we're going to have to try and be cool, calm and collected and avoid the carnage here at the Italian GP.
It seems like an age for the drivers waiting for the lights to signal the start of the race. We are racing!
I am so scared for turn 1.
It's off the grid well. It's not such a good start for Raikkonen.
Raikkonen's done alright, don't know what that's all about.
Going into the first corner. Alonso leads out of the first corner. And behind him is Fisichella. Next is Massa.
Oh, we got a little bit of a slowdown there. Staggered, to be honest, it's only 2 seconds, but it has cost me 2 places off the start of the race. Is Scott Speed. He might have a nosebleed up in the heights of P11 as Giano tries to send it down the inside of Nick Heidfeld through the next corner. But Renault still leading the way then at the front of the field. But yeah, we've had a very, very quiet start as we'll try and move past Nick Heidfeld as well. At the inside through the second of the Lesmos. And we are back through then and into P9 of this GP. So hopefully not going to be under too much pressure from the cars behind here. Once again, Quick Nick has just been rapid throughout the course of this season in just getting the job done on a Friday and Saturday. Occasionally has done well on a Sunday as well. Grip back to where they should be though, but I believe it's still Alonso at the front of the field. Those Renaults though are really applying a lot of pressure to each other early on. Would I complain if they crashed into each other today? I don't know, we'll wait and see. But yeah, you can see they're at the final corner. It just feels like this Toyota hasn't quite got the pace to match, you know, the BARs, the McLarens, and of course the Ferrari and the Renault cars.
With the first lap completed, the field looks like this. Alonso leads. Fisichella is second. Massa is third. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. Kimi Raikkonen fifth. He's up from seventh. Barrichello is sixth. Montoya is seventh. He's down from fifth. And Trulli is eighth.
Well, Kimi Raikkonen then making some good gains early on. Montoya and Kimi Raikkonen swapping as well, as he seemed to be very, very strong through the Lesmos then against the likes of our teammate. Not when I do that though. Oh, car's gone. Car has gone in a big way there, and I think that is Juan Pablo Montoya, who's immediately out of the Grand Prix. It's going to allow us a run. So we'll go down the inside of Jarno Trulli at the final corner as well. Yeah, I've already made the overtake. I'm sorry, engineer. But up into P7 we go once again then as our top 3. Very close together. Are we going to see Jarno try and send it? You'd hope not, but this is F1 CE, and yes he does.
Fisichella leads. He's up from second. Alonso is second. Massa is third. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. Kimi Raikkonen fifth. Barrichello is sixth. He's down from fifth. You're seventh. And Trulli is eighth.
0.2 of a second up on that first sector.
So scary around this track because the AI will just dive bomb you no matter how late you break into a corner sometimes. But yeah, Giancarlo Fisichella now leading his home race.
The clouds have started to close in now, and the temperature has dropped quite markedly. It's still dry at the moment, but there's a possibility of rain before this race is over.
And as if our luck couldn't get any worse, on a track that we're already struggling on, rain is on the horizon. What is that? How far back was Jarno? That's what I mean about the AI here. Jarno Trulli was miles behind.
Alonso leads. Fisichella is second. Massa is third. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. Barrichello fifth. Raikkonen sixth. Trulli seventh. He's moved up from eighth. You're eighth.
Top 10 finish can be on the cards and remain where you are.
I love being able to get a 7-second penalty as well from spinning on this game. It never ceases to amaze me, F1 CE. And now we're down to 12.
Good start. You just put in your best time for sector 1.
Great. It's over. It's over.
That incident doesn't seem to have done him too much harm. Well, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but whether he can recover from it, that's another thing. You got involved in that scrape as well. He seems to have got away with no damage though. Very lucky indeed.
Monza never fails to impress, and this season has been no exception. We've seen these V8 cars at full stretch here today, heading down the main straight and into the first chicane, and I can tell you, anyone who said that the V8s would be somehow slow compared with the V10s will quickly withdraw that comment. These are mightily impressive cars, and I think this season is just getting better and better. We must now sadly take an extended break due to the cancellation of the Belgian Grand Prix earlier this year. Join us again in October when we travel east to Shanghai, followed by Japan for the closing part of the season. See you then.
You genuinely cannot race the AI around that circuit. How can they dive bomb you from a second behind at turn 1, but cannot put the power down on the exit of turn 5 there? And well, we weren't going to be able to do anything against Fisichella and the top guys this weekend, but that seals the deal. We are out of the championship fight there with 3 races to go. A 38-point deficit now to Giancarlo, who now has a 9-point lead over Michael Schumacher. It is still heating up between the top 4 in the Drivers' Championship, but I think, yeah, all we can hope for is that we finish best of the rest this season. Trulli now up to 12th, so a good handful of points as well for him this weekend. But honestly, I just want this season to be done on F1 Championship Edition. We'll be back very soon, ready for the Chinese Grand Prix.